Okay, thank you very much. It's a very warm introduction. Thank you all for coming. It's a pleasure to be here. We had a long journey with Zach and David since last night, actually, since I landed. It's been on driving all around and many kivrei tzadikim. And we went to Caesarea, and we went to Tveria, and we went to Meron, and now we just arrived here like half an hour ago. So it was a whirlwind day, and I haven't slept in a very long time. So, but Baruch Hashem, it's a pleasure to be here. It's an honor to be here, and thank you all for coming. And since we are in the holy city of Tzfat, I thought it would be appropriate to speak about Tzfat and the whole notion of holy cities and what this actually even means. So what is this idea of 4 holy cities? And on a deeper, not just, we're going to cover some of the history and geography as well, but on a deeper level, what is the mystical, Kabbalistic, spiritual significance of these cities? And it's going to be a long journey. So I know we're in Tzfat, so I assume everybody is a Kabbalist here already. And we don't need introductions. You guys all know about Sfirot and Partzufim and all. I don't have to explain any of that, right? We just go right into it. So, but we'll start with a little introduction, a historical introduction first, and then we'll get into the good stuff. And we have 4. So we have 4 holy cities. There's this idea. It's a pretty new idea. It's not something that goes back to to Chazal or anything. That there's this notion of 4 holy cities. It's something that you only see in our texts, like in the last few hundred years. And what are the 4 holy cities? Don't be shy. You can speak. Good. So Tzfat and Tveria and Hebron and Yerushalayim. Now, of course, the term 4 holy cities is a little bit misleading because, well, what about all the other holy cities, right? Every city in Israel is holy. The land is holy. It's Eretz HaKodesh. Every town is holy. Every yeshuv, every settlement, every place where Jews live here in this holy land is holy. So it's a bit of a misnomer to say that these are the holy cities. So that actually came out of more of a political arrangement that arose in the 1700s of these 4 cities being major Jewish population centers in the 1700s that worked together to collect funds for Israel. They would send emissaries outside of Israel to collect funds for what's sometimes called the old yeshuv, right? The Jews that have always lived here for centuries. And so it really came out of that, of raising funds for these 4 major Jewish population centers. But we know that nothing happens in Judaism stam. The fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it that these 4 holy cities, or these 4 cities, have major Jewish populations and have always had Jewish populations, that obviously means something. Why wasn't it some other cities? Why were these the major towns? Why Tzfat? Why not somewhere else? So that means that this is what God wanted. Everything happens under divine supervision. So that's what we want to really uncover. What is the deeper reason that these were these special 4 cities? That's where we're going. So we're going to talk about them. We're going to start with Tzfat, because we're here. So we're going to go with Tzfat first. And Tzfat, again, is not explicitly mentioned in Tanakh. Right? It's not the name of the city in the Tanakh itself. It's not explicitly mentioned there. But it's within what we believe that it's within what would have been the tribe of Naphtali's territory. And there's a beautiful gematria there for those. Everybody likes gematria? Yeah. Any skeptics? No? Everybody. So we know the truth is that you can't be a skeptic of gematria because today we understand. 100 years ago you could be, but today to be a skeptic of gematria is to reject everything we know about science and math, because we now live in a world where, scientifically speaking, we know for a fact that we live in a mathematical cosmos. Everything is math in the universe. Everything is numbers. Everything is formulas. We can formulaically figure out whether it's wind patterns or ocean waves or the motions of all the stars and planets and galaxies across the cosmos precisely. Everything is math. God created a very mathematical universe, and that's what our sages have said all along. Everything is letters and numbers, right? God made the world through 32 paths, Lamed Bet Netivot Chokhmah. It's all ultimately letters and numbers. We live in a digital universe. Scientists have only figured this out now. In recent decades, more and more are talking about this idea of being in a digital universe. But we've been saying this for millennia. That's how the Torah begins, right? Bereshit, what does the Torah say right in the first day? That God spoke the universe from day one. God spoke the universe into existence. Speech, it's letters, it's numbers. We've been saying all along that we live in a digital universe. So Gematria is just another expression of that, of mathematical relations, of seeing the formulas and numbers and the equivalences in the Torah, because the whole cosmos is mathematical. So with Tzfat, being in the land of Naphtali, the Gematria of Tzfat, Tzadi Pei Taf, is 570. And the Gematria of Naphtali, you do the math, Nun Pei Taf Lamed Yud, is also 570. Right? So Naphtali and Tzfat, it's like, this is like the capital of Naphtali. All along, although it's not mentioned as such, explicitly in Tanakh, but all along, mathematically, you can see that Tzfat has always been, the center of the tribe of Naphtali. So, and the Gematria, the numbers again prove it. It's all formulas. The name Tzfat is also very interesting. What does this name mean? Right? So that's one idea. So some would say litzpot or letzafot, something to do with vision. Right? Any other ideas for the etymology of Tzfat?
Is it also an edge?
Could be that. Yeah. That's good too. Beautiful. Right. That's really good. So, a few possibilities. Officially, the scholarly answer, which I think is actually also deeply mystical, is that it comes from an old Persian word, which is safet. And I don't know if there's any Bukharians here. Any Bukharians here? No, I'm the only one. Okay, I'm Bukharian. So in Bukharian as well, which is very similar to Old Farsi and Tajik. So safet is also a Bukharian word. Safet means white and bright, light. Right? That's what safet means in Old Persian. And so that's appropriate, again, for this being a place of light, of being a place of Torah secrets, of revealing Torah secrets. Again, Gematria, famous Gematria, you've probably heard this, that the Gematria of Or, of light, Aleph Vav Reish, is 207, which is the same as Raz. Raz meaning secrets. This is the place of revealing secrets. Raz is 207, and light, Or, is 207. Because the truth is, from the creation perspective, we are all beings of light. The first thing that God said, God created, Vayehi O, God created light. Everything comes from the initial primordial light. And again, amazingly, scientists discovered this as well. In the 1960s, scientists realized that really the whole cosmos is just radiation. So it's light, it's condensed light essentially, right? The whole cosmos is still radiating. You can detect it. The cosmic microwave background radiation. The universe is still radiating from that initial burst, from that initial Vayehi O. God spoke. It doesn't stop. It's still radiating till now. You can even pick it up a little bit sometimes on the radio when you hear some of the static. If you're not tuned to something, some of that static is actually picking up cosmic microwave background radiation. And if you can see, our vision, God made our visual spectrum very small. We see a very narrow band of the electromagnetic spectrum. Nothing, just a few hundred nanometers. But if you could see more, you can do like a microwave map. Famous picture, a microwave map of the universe. The whole universe is glowing. Right? And it says that in the Tanakh, that people don't see they don't see the light, bahirhu bashchakim, that there's this great, the whole cosmos, bahirhu bashchakim, is glowing, but we humans don't see it. We can't see that light. Our eyes don't perceive because we see such a narrow band. But the whole idea of light, everything in the cosmos is just condensed light. So there's this idea of revealing secrets. What are you really doing? You're revealing light. You're seeing the light connection. So Tzfat being Safed, being a place of light, of whiteness, of revealing white light. And remember, white light is when all the wavelengths come together. If you put all the colors together, that's what white has, all the bands. Right? Yeah. You remember the rainbow, the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Red is a very long wavelength. Blue is a very narrow wavelength. And you put them all together, though, you get white light. Okay? That's Tzfat. It's the white light that contains everything within. And if you put a prism, then it splits and you see all the different colors. Everything in the universe is really that analogy. It's all just Hashem's light, Or Ein Sof, the infinite light. But with our prism eyes, God put prisms in our eyes that make things look distinct, that bend the light so that we see things as different. That's red, that's blue, that's orange. But really, it's all one. But we have these prisms that make us see distinction. But really, we're all interconnected. So that's really the idea of Tzfat, of being a place of light. And the Gemara in the Talmud Yerushalmi says where Tzfat is actually mentioned, one of the earliest places, that Tzfat was, because it's so high up on the mountain, that this was a signal place where people would light signal fires to tell everybody around about the sighting of the new moon and the start of Rosh Chodesh. So they would light signal fires from Tzfat. And that connects to the etymology of also seeing it, a place to see. Like Haratzofim, like an overlooking, a place to see, to look at. Right? Same root, the Tzadi Pei, that same root is there as well.